Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. H will 3. Here for your favorite podcast, The Truth Hurts. And of course, I have my partner in crime, Roman Claude Rankin. Say hi to the good people, Claude.
What's going on, peeps?
Peeps, I like that. Yeah, we have, and forgive us for not having our graphics up. We're going to make up for that in a few. We've been on hiatus for a while. I have been ultra busy dealing with car changes and all types of things. We're going to talk about cars for a hot minute in a few. But let's get the pleasantries out the way. Claude, how you been doing, man?
Oh, fantastic. Life has been good.
Oh, man, you know I am so thrilled to hear that because for a lot of people, life has not been good. The world seems to be in a state of chaos and violence. So when you can find peace amidst chaos, that's a beautiful thing. It's a real beautiful thing. So that's good to hear you and your family are doing well. For the most part, same here. You know, there's always going to be a few little hiccups. But overall, I can't complain. Now, this is a very interesting show we have tonight. There's a lot of chaos going on. Everything from the guy who was assassinated, Charlie Kirk, to I don't know. You could go on and on and on. Just total madness.
A to Z. I call it A to Z.
A to Z madness going on.
Macho man.
Macho madness. A Mormon church was burned to the ground yesterday. 4 people killed.
Was that today?
No, that was yesterday.
Today or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday in Grand Blanc.
People were saying it was today.
Yeah, they lied. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah. And but we're not going to talk about none of those things, but we're going to talk about some things that kind of will help make sense of all of this chaos, because as the scriptures point out, everything written in the past, I'm paraphrasing, of course, was meant for our learning. That's what the scriptures teach us. I had to be careful because I can't quote scriptures no more. So we're going to start off with something very unusual. The other morning, I came across this in my archives. I guess you call it archives. And I'm holding up a copy, Claude, because Claude doesn't see this, but it's a copy of the Detroit News from January 21st, 2009. And on the headlines, it says Chrysler, Fiat team up. And that's a reference to the car companies of Chrysler Corporation and Fiat, affectionately known by some people as Fix It Again Tony. They're an Italian automaker. So back then they merged, and it didn't work out too well. And since then, Chrysler got swallowed up by a company called Stellantis, and they haven't been doing too good. So this was the beginning of the end, really, right here. But that's, we're not going to dwell on that. One of the things I wanted to know from back in 2009 as compared to now, we're going to look at some sports. This is going to be very interesting. Because one of the headlines here says, Pistons rip up starting lineup. Now, when they say rip, they're making a reference to none other than one of our favorites, Richard Rip Hamilton. Remember him, Claude?
Yeah, that was back in the day.
That was way back in the day, the Pistons shooting guard. Now, earlier today, here in 2025, the Pistons just had their media day, where now we have B.J. Bickerstaff as coach. We got Trajan Langdon as the GM, making a lot of the decisions. We've got the stars like Kate Cunningham, Jay Nivey, Jalen Duran. We got the new additions of Duncan Robinson, Karis LeVert.
Walkman came from Miami.
Came from Miami. That is correct. Absolutely correct. And we got my main man. I already mentioned Jay Nivey, but we got uh, Beef Stew. We got
Stew beef.
Stew Beef. We got
I like the color. Was that the Ultimate Warrior?
Stop it. We got what's my man's name? Oh, one of my favorites, Tobias, Uncle Tobias Harris.
He's still here.
He's still here, still kicking. The Bees Knees and Malik Beasley and what's my man's name? Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. is now where did he go to? He went to Dallas.
What time you got rid of?
Well, he didn't. It wasn't so much they got rid of him, Claude. He was a free agent. He only was under a 1-year deal, and he opted to go to them. Probably got more money than what the Pistons could offer him. You know. And anyway, that's my theory. And with Malik Beasley, of course, the gambling thing seems to have derailed him because even though he was cleared by the feds, the NBA now is messing around with him, which is really a terrible thing. I wish they'd stop it. I wish they leave him alone. I think this is to kind of to mess with the Pistons, but I digress. All right. We've gone over that, so we're not going to touch it no more. We're going to let it play out. Pistons pretty much for the most part, though, are all set. They do still have one open roster spot left, but for the most part, all the spots are filled. Now, let's get to real quick, before we get into about the sports with this paper, this Frozen in Time 2009 paper. I want to look at these car prices because you can't really get a car anymore nowadays because of inflation, because of Trump's tariffs. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was like this before he got back in office, but I mean, car prices have just gone through the roof. Everything is going through the roof. You know, you got to pay $7 for in some places for some eggs, a pack of eggs. You know,
what is a pack of eggs?
$6 for a stick of butter. I mean, this stuff is something. You know, you need to learn how to eat margarine because things have just gotten ridiculous. $5-6 for a bag of apples.
How much is some water?
Some what?
Water.
You still can get water, maybe a bottle of water for over $1. But it depends on what kind you get. If you get an Ice Mountain, maybe a little over $1. But don't talk about the Dasani and all that designer water junk, vitamin water. Then all of a sudden you're paying could be $2-3. You know, I guess you're paying for the packaging. All right, so the name. So I'm looking at. Since we're picking on Chrysler, I'm looking at some of these prices. 2000 Ram 1500 quad cab, 16,982. 2008 Avenger SXT. These are trucks prices and car prices. 14,697. Now check this out, y'all. 2009. I'm sorry, I apologize, y'all. I think I said 2000. 2008. These are new vehicles. If it's a 2008 and it's listed here, they probably was from inventory from the last year they didn't sell. 2009 Ram 1500 Crew Cab, 19,894. Do you know some of these vehicles now cost near $100,000? I can't make this up. 100 grand. I can't even wrap my mind around it. Now, granted, it's 16 years ago, but that much money for a truck? It's just incredible.
It's killer.
Oh, it's a killer. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Those are just a few examples. Here's something hilarious. Back then, they were trying to do hybrids, GM, and they really hadn't worked the kinks out yet. So a lot of these vehicles flopped. Because they were double the price. Not double, but it added maybe $4,000 or $5,000 extra dollars to the cost of the vehicle. But you really weren't saving no money in the long haul. That was the whole point of a hybrid. A hybrid is a gas vehicle with an electric motor. That's the simple version of it. So anyway, I'm a gearhead, so I get into that type of stuff. So nobody else really cares. Also, I saw a nice ad for a BlackBerry phone. Remember BlackBerry's, Claude?
Yes.
If I can find that one, I'll pull that up. That was hilarious.
Send me. I'm gonna watch it when we can watch
if I can find it, y'all, I'm gonna show that as we wrap this up. Wow, this is unbelievable. You can't get an entry level car. Most of these cars are under 20 grand. I'm looking at. Just to show you I'm not making this up. You got a Jeep. I can't help but look at this one last time. We got a Jeep Wrangler X, $14,989. You can't get one of these for. I don't even know if you can get them for under 30,000. I don't think so now. So that's quadrupled in price. I could go on and on. We're not gonna dwell on that because I want to stay focused so we can get through this. We're not gonna spend all night on this. We got too much else other stuff to talk about. Now here's the fun stuff. The sports page.
I love it
when a plan comes together. Oh, we got some things to say about this.
About that catchphrase.
You love it. We got Hamilton. Okay, we're going to focus on the Pistons. Before we get into that, there's a headline here. Knapp shows knack with Verlander tip. New Tiger pitching coach says one sure objective is to get our guys in an attacking stance. All right, what does all that mumbo jumbo mean? This is a picture of Justin Verlander. He was still a Tiger pitcher then, and he was a guy who won what was like 2 Cy Young awards. He was the Tarek Skubal of that era. The amazing thing is this man is still pitching. Justin Verlander. He's with the San Francisco Giants, trying to chase 300 wins.
Just walk away.
Walk away.
That's our catchphrase.
Just walk away. But back then he was the ace of the Tiger staff, and just like Tarek Skubal is now. Now, really quick, we're gonna throw this in here. The Tigers just clinched the playoff spot the other night, so congratulations to them. Unfortunately, they blew it, winning the Central Division. They blew a big lead to Cleveland, but the bottom line is, I'm sorry, what was that, Claude?
How you gonna lose to Cleveland? You lose to a lot of times, but you lose
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Rough pill to swallow.
It was a rough pill to swallow. They blew a 15.5 lead going into, I believe, September. But anyway, that's all I wanted to bridge. Now everything is even Steven. They got a series coming up. We're going to see who is the better team once and for all. Cleveland, by the way, won the series season. We ain't talking about 2009. We're talking about now, 2015. All right. So let's get to this. This is what I've been itching to talk about in this paper, from this old paper. How well preserved it is. It ain't even hardly yellow. It was tucked away in a file cabinet and didn't even see sunlight. That's why it looks like it does. But it says Hamilton agrees to come off of the bench. So what was going on back then? To summarize, the Pistons had made one of the biggest mistakes outside of drafting Darko Milicic. They had traded Mr. Big Shot Chauncey Billups for Allen Iverson. Didn't quite pan out in hindsight, but at this stage of the season, the Pistons were actually not doing badly. Let me see if I can find the standings. Okay, they were, wouldn't you know it, they were behind Cleveland again. Back then it was the Cavaliers. Their record was 23-17, and Cleveland was 31-8. They were 8.5 games back. And I think Bron James, one of our so-called favorites, being sarcastic, he was, pardon me, I think he was leading them. Am I right, Claude? I think I'm right.
Yeah, LeBron was leading Cleveland.
Yes. So to try to get things going and have a better, I guess, bench production, Rip Hamilton, who was a starter his whole career pretty much, maybe he came off the bench when he was with the Washington Wizards, when Jordan was in his last hurrah.
Jordan won all the glory.
Of course. Of course. But Rip agreed to come off the bench. Matter of fact, now the Pistons were still out in Auburn Hills. Show you how long ago this was, playing at the Palace. If it were, okay, so this was by Chris McCloskey of the Detroit News. I don't know if he might be retired now, but he was a long-time Piston beat writer. If it works, Richard Hamilton could become the first Pistons best sixth man since Vinnie Johnson. If it doesn't, then any hopes of the Pistons being legitimate contenders this season will be dashed. Pistons coach Michael Curry. So they have gotten past Flip Saunders, and now Michael Curry was the coach. Said Tuesday that Hamilton will be coming off the bench while Allen Iverson will start at shooting guard, and Amir Johnson will take Hamilton's spot in most situations. Curry said Kwame Brown would start for Johnson. Isn't that something? I forgot this has had Kwame Brown. Don't say who. The Kwame Brown from that played with the Lakers? Are you kidding me? You don't remember him?
Yeah, I don't remember him now.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll look him up. So Curry said Kwame Brown, I forgot the Pistons had him, will start for Johnson against teams with bigger centers like the Celtics, Lakers, and Cavaliers. Now, this is a quote. A lot of people have made a lot of people have made a lot of things about this, Hamilton said. Regardless, you want to win games. Me and Allen both know that. They told me I was coming off the bench, that it was something MC. MC was short for Michael Curry, who won it. And I said, fine, cool. The bottom line is you want to win games. If this is the best way we can win a championship, then I am all for it. The thing is, we have two great scorers, me and AI. We have to figure out how both of us can be our best. And then it goes on, Curry gives his reasons for the move. Well,
I have a question.
Go ahead. I know what's coming. Go ahead.
All right, here you go. Here go my question.
Mm-hmm.
AI, you mean Iverson or artificial intelligence?
Both.
Both. Which one we gonna get?
You got both. The move was a disaster because and ultimately the trade was a disaster. Now this part is not listed here. This is what I remember of what happened. Chauncey Billups had got an injury. Might have been an ankle. I can't so long ago I can't remember. But he missed, I think, part of last season. So Joe Dumars and his infinite wisdom said, I want Allen Iverson.
He was drunk when he made that.
He must have been, I'm going to be nice, because he might be watching this. You know, he's the team president of New Orleans. What do they call themselves now? Pelicans. New Orleans Pelicans, because they've been about 3 or 4 different names, but they're the Pelicans now. And he got, what's his name to deal with now? Zion. But the refrigerator Zion Williamson. But he made that decision, and it was a catastrophe. I don't think Allen Iverson lasted past this year, and he was gone. Adios, muchachos. One of the infamous things about his stay with the Pistons that he lived down in at the Motor City Casino and at the hotel, and he was gambling away money, from what I understand, at a terrific clip that will put even these gambling apps to shame. But that's another story. You know, which if you want to throw away your money, that was your business. But the bottom line is what you're doing on the court. And it was just, what ended up being proven was Chauncey was just entering his prime. When I mean prime, I mean the peak of his career. And Allen Iverson was on a sharp descent. So it turned out to be a terrible move. So you live and you learn. And so that's all I wanted to cover. Anything else before we move on, Claude? I'm gonna see if I can find that BlackBerry ad before we move from this. But anything you want to ask about anything about the year 2009? Do you remember the year 2009, Claude? That was a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. We was at the peak of our career, table tennis career.
That's true. We was at
Coleman Young.
We were still at Coleman Young doing the Wolfpack Alliance. Matter of fact, I got my Wolfpack Alliance shirt on. Oops. Yeah, right there.
I actually got it hung up.
You got it hung up or got it framed yet?
No, I still wear it every time.
Okay, I tried to catch you off guard, but that was a good answer.
I wear it to work every time.
Okay, that'll work. Oh, here go the comment section. Oh, I haven't seen the comment section in ages. Let me show this right quick. That's something that I don't know if they still have fun. I think they still have funny pages and comics and newspapers, but they moved a lot of that stuff online. Cartoons and all that
I gonna call it cartoons, guys. I don't see no. Hey,
You don't see what? Ah, here it. I found it. Go ahead. What we about to say?
I said, what's the difference from comics? Nobody do that no more. All we do is cartoons now. We watch cartoons most of the time.
Well, a lot of things have changed. When we were coming up, they had a cartoons, animated cartoons on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we used to love it. We would watch that, whether it was Bugs Bunny or Warner Brothers or GI Joe wasn't on Saturday morning, but Scooby Doo, all types of different cartoons, and they just eliminated all that, made it all pay. You had to pay for it, so everything is based on greed now. All right, so this is the pièce de résistance.
La Resistance.
La Resistance. That wasn't that a tag team?
Yeah, that too. I got that from my coach.
From your coach, okay. La Resistance. All right, this is Sprint. This is an ad for Sprint. We got the Samsung Rant. Now this is a phone that this keyboard slid out.
I remember them.
Those are cool, man. If you had one of them, and you people be texting, they was working both thumbs. Then you had this is an LG Lotus. LG stands, by the way, for Life's Good. And lastly, here we go, folks. Here we go, Claude. BlackBerry Curve. 8330 smartphone. Oh man, people used to go wild over some BlackBerry.
I remember. I think I had one time
you had a BlackBerry?
I had a BlackBerry.
Claude,
I had a BlackBerry.
you held out on me. I didn't know you had a BlackBerry. All right. Some people used to call them crackberries. Talking about they was addicted. Say no to drugs. Say no to drugs.
I was on my business.
Right.
I was my business.
All right, so that's that. So that's enough for 2009. We're trying to get through 2025, but sometimes you can look back at things and learn from the past. And apparently, nobody learned nothing because people still making the same mistakes. The auto industry collapsed back then, and GM and Chrysler, they filed for bankruptcy. Now, you see how low their prices of their products were. Can you imagine how are they going to sustain that? And the prices have quadrupled in 2025. I can see history repeating itself, but see, nobody learns from the past. Nobody learns. I can see the same thing happening all over again, or worse, maybe. But I hope I'm wrong, but usually, nah. All right. We're going to wrap up our little discussion we were having about con men and cyber criminals. It's just a few more little things we're going to go over, and then we're done. And then we're going to get to our last topic, which will be, hey, man, is that guy crazy? And we're going to give you who that is. Yeah. We'll give you who that is in a minute. Now, we're going to look at 3 more cyber crimes to look out for. We're going to give you, actually going to give you several. Enough. All right, let's start with this. Baiting, impersonation, and tailgating. Now, let me find my notes here. Baiting. By the way, have you ever heard of these, Claude?
Tailgating, yes. But I've never been a part of it.
No, not that tailgating. You funny. Not the one for the football game. I'm talking about
No.
this is a cyber crime.
No.
This is a type of
No.
a cyber crime. Okay, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn. Everybody gonna learn something. All right, baiting uh, is where a crook. These are getting into uh, things that con people do, not so much online, but out in the open. So what baiting is you find, let's say you find a flash drive in a public place,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, oh, flash drive, some of them kind of high, and this looks like a something I can take. You look around, you look both ways, nobody's claiming, and you think you done got over. So you take the flash drive back home and plug it in your computer or your laptop, and next thing you know, it's infected with a virus.
Gotcha.
They done gotcha. Gotcha. So you want to be
Man, are you
careful
correct?
about baiting. That's one example of it anyway. Now, another form of cybercrime, this is very common, and it covers a lot of the things we talked about last week about fishing and whaling and not tailgating. I'm sorry, spear fishing and all that junk, spam, people impersonation. An attacker who pretends to be someone they are not. I receive emails like that constantly. It's a form of phishing, but in this case, they claim to be someone they're not, and that's very very common. That's nothing new. Somebody who's a representative for such and such bank, and if it's not your particular bank, it's like, well, I know this is phony, but what if it is your bank? Let's say it's Fifth Third. I'm just making up something, and you got an account with Fifth Third, and they say you've been uh, your account has been compromised. Send us your information, and we will try to stop the bleeding. Just making up some lie. And that's how you end up giving up your personal information because you fell for the impersonation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to be very careful about. If it most banks and most insurance companies organizations do not ask for certain sensitive information over the phone. So usually do never give out your social security number, your what they call it, your bank account information. Never do that like in a regular standard email or something like that because most of them never do. Most of the legitimate organizations, legitimate organizations do not ask for that online like that. Have you ever experienced that, Chloe? By the way,
Yeah, a couple times, but I ain't stupid. I wasn't stupid.
there you go. That's your story, and you're sticking by it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to the tailgate, not the Lions tailgating. This is
Oh,
this is when in cyber crimes 101, an attacker follows an authorized person in a secure area. All right, so this is what that means. Let's say you're going to work and some crook has been observing you going into your
stalking.
Well, I guess you could say that, a stalker. That's a good way to put it. Let's see, they observing you, how you enter into your work area. And usually in a lot, well, okay, let me just come up with a random scenario. Let's say you got to go through a gated area. You got to do a swipe with a card you've been issued that opens a gate. You have to go through a security guard because it was craziest things now. Every business got to have some type of form of security. Maybe you got to look at a camera and scan your retina, and that's not far fetched at all.
I
Because
think
even
that's
well, you know what? Believe it or not, I have to do that to drive ride share. I don't like it, but if I want to do it, I have to do that. I think I can't say whether it's unnecessary or not. It's Big Brother watching you, to getting your retina scan, so you can come back and use that against you later. I don't know what's going on, but the bottom line is you got to do something. So what a tailgater will do, he observes how you get in, and they kind of follow behind you, and it's also kind of combines impersonation because they mimic what you do to get access into buildings, into your work area. And then from there, it ain't no telling what they liable to do. They could stick the place up. they could get somewhere and hack into a computer system. Who knows? Now I'm gonna give you an example of this. That's the worst possible example. Not too long ago, show you how dangerous this can be. There was a woman being stalked by, I believe this was her ex-husband, either ex-husband or ex-boyfriend. So she was trying to get away from this nut, and she put out a restraining order on him. What they call personal protection order, PPO? Is that what it's called, Claude?
yeah, yeah, that's what we call it.
Don't make no jokes. So personal protection order.
I have that. I have that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
Today.
wait a minute. Now listen to this. You might remember this. I don't know if we ever talked about this. So this woman worked at Henry Ford Hospital. I believe she was a nurse. I don't want to misspeak, but the bottom line is she was a professional person who works at Henry Ford Hospital. This nut, I don't know how this dude did this, but got into the hospital with a loaded handgun.
Oh, we were talking about that.
We were talking about, okay, yeah. Went into the basement of Henry Ford Hospital and killed her. Terrible, awful. How did this nut get, was the security that bad there? Or did he, through tailgating, understand how to get past security? He had to know something. Because usually at a hospital, go ahead, Claude.
He must have knew somebody wasn't on their job, and it all depends on if it's for a hospital location. If it's the one on Grand Boulevard, they suck on security.
Are you speaking of personal experience?
West Grand Boulevard security sucks.
I think Claude is speaking from personal experience, y'all. So if he says that, take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. Because I could not wrap my mind around this. Man got into you supposed to have metal detectors, scanners. You supposed to go to a front desk, check in before you access any area. And this guy just walked in there and killed an employee. So head's gonna roll. I don't know the fallout from that, but the got sad and the scary thing is this woman was murdered right on the job. So that's how dangerous tailgating is. I'm sorry, what?
You can't go to work no more.
Yeah, this is insanity. So yeah, this tailgating thing, this is serious stuff, folks. Okay, let's move on. We got a few more before we get to the the really scary one. All right, shoulder surfing dumpster diving. Shoulder surfing. I'm sorry, what, Claude?
That's something new for me.
Oh yeah, these. Well, this is the truth hurts. We're gonna cover some things people don't know now. Most of the stuff from last time, people were familiar with it. I'm sure. Spam and everybody know about that, and junk email,
Don't eat that spam.
phishing.
Don't eat that spam.
Man, I used to. Well, my mother used to make me spam when I was a kid. I used to eat that stuff, and I was like, Lord Jesus, help me, Lord. But I apologize. But when I get old enough, I'm not eating this no more.
This is my channel. Please don't put no spam on me.
Because like liver, I don't care how you try to dress it up. This taste is always gonna come through. But anyway, moving on. Shoulder surfing is when an attacker looks over. Now this is really simple, basic stuff. An attacker looks over someone's shoulder to steal information. So I'm just making up a hypothetical example. Tongue tied tonight. You're at a library, and you brought your laptop, or maybe you're using the library's computer. So you go to your email and you access your email, your username and your password. In some cases you might have a PIN number. And see, nowadays it's gotten so out of hand. They have something called two-factor identification, where you enter your password. It's got so bad. You enter your password and your username or your email. Then they send you a code either to your phone or to another email. I mean, it's gotten complicated just to log into anything, because cyber criminals have just hacked into all of these different email accounts and servers. And anyway, I digress. So you logging in at the library, back to our scenario. An attacker looks over your shoulder and says, "Oh, so your email is such and such and such and such, and your password is this. I'm gonna get in there." And that's all there is to it. They just literally look over your shoulder, literally, and steal your information. That's it. Nothing deep. It is exactly what it's called. Shoulders that's surfing. They looking over your shoulder, stealing your information. So that was one you had never heard of, huh?
That's something new.
That's a new one. Now the last one, I know you're gonna have jokes. Dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Do you have okay, so let's go ahead and set this one up. Have you ever heard of this? And number two, if you haven't, what do you think this means?
Putting stuff in the dumpster.
Actually, you're right. You're absolutely right. The average person, I'm just once again coming up with a little scenario so it makes sense to everybody. Average person gets a ton of mail. And some of that could have credit card offers. It could be bank statements or whatever. So what happens is, if you don't shred that stuff, if you just casually just throw it in the trash and don't shred it, somebody could get a hold of that, and they got your address, they got credit information, they got everything. So me personally, I have a shredder. And I shred anything that's got really anything of value on it about me. It's getting shredded. It is getting shredded. And that includes cars, old bank cars and stuff. So these are the type of things that can protect yourself, because if you approach things very casually, a crook is going to take advantage of it. That's guaranteed. And this is one of their tactics, dumpster diving. All right, now we get to the really scary one. This is going to be the frightening icing on the cake. The dark web. That sounds ominous. Have you ever heard of the dark web, Claude?
No, it sounds racist. Just call it the web.
Lord help him. Lord help him, Lord. You said it sound racist. Yeah, everything dark is bad. Everything black. No, we all know that that's not true.
No, that's not true. That was my joke.
I know that's your joke. Lord help. Dark web. Well, we got the internet, and the internet we got the intranet. Now, intranets are used by, it could be anything from, now, internet is commercial entity. Everybody has access to that. And the internet is a series of servers connected together to form a net, so to speak, and with websites and things like that. Now, an intranet is something that either private or public entities use. It's like the internet, but it's closed to just either that corporations, employees, or if it's a government agency, or a government, is just access to the employees. Y'all forgive me for rubbing my nose. Okay, here's a good example. When I was with the city of Detroit, as Mary Young used to say, they had an intranet. And the only way you could access it, you had to be at a certain level, usually a salaried employee, and you had to have certain credentials, and then you could access it. And then you got news that was only for certain employees, not everybody, but at a certain level. So that's the intranet. Now the dark web is the internet for criminals. This is not good, folks. The internet for criminals. I sometimes you hate to even talk about this stuff because now you got people out there. Ooh, what's criminal? Oh, I want to see what that's like. Nah, don't.
You don't want to be a criminal.
You don't want to be a criminal. And when I talk about what's on there, this is a solemn warning. You would be wise not to mess around with this. Now, the reason why it's important to put that disclaimer on here is because you've got websites, so-called legitimate tech websites, talking about the dark web like it ain't no big deal. And I'm like, these people, hey man, is this guy crazy? What are you talking about? Dark web is where you can get on and get anything. All right, here's a good example. We had a situation yesterday. Did we talk about it earlier, about the church attack?
No.
Okay.
We talked about it off the line, but
we talked about it offline, but not on the show. Okay. Yesterday in Michigan, in Grand Blanc, Michigan, there was a Mormon church. They're also known as Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. Now, do I believe in their doctrine? No. But just because I don't agree with you, that doesn't mean that gives me the right to go and slaughter you and kill you. And that's the dangers of these fanatics. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to even try to pretend I know what this guy's motivation was. I do know he was ex-military, I believe, an ex-Marine. And sadly, a lot of them fall into that category. Not all of them, but a lot of them fall into ex-military people. And I guess that's where they get all their expertise with the weapons. Because this guy took a truck, I think it was a Chevy pickup, might have been from 2009, I don't know, but he took it, rammed the church, set the church on fire, then used an assault rifle and shot up the church. So 4 people were killed and I think 8 injured. Might have been way more than that. But that's the initial report I got. So our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Once again, I don't have to agree with your doctrine, but that doesn't mean I want to see you slaughtered. Because as long as you're alive, there's hope. There's hope. But if some nut kills you, just like the thing with Charlie Kirk, you're gone. Now, I didn't agree. Lord knows I didn't agree with everything he said. Charlie Kirk, I didn't even know who he was until they killed him. The guy assassinated him.
It popped up my feet. It popped up my phone like it was something else. Like, well, who's this?
Yeah, who was this guy? Me and Claude were ignorant to who he was. But then when I did my research and things, some of the things he said was really good. Then some of the things he said was, in our opinion, very bad. Very bad. And but I don't condone, no way I condone murdering somebody because I don't agree with everything they say, even though it could, in the sight of God, it could be dead wrong. But I don't agree with murdering nobody. That's horrible. In a sense, you killed an innocent man because that man could have repented of that, what he was saying, and you took away that chance. So, yeah, who are you? As Shono said in The Last Dragon, who are you? No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's what Last Dragon's daddy said. Who are you? He said that to Shono, right? So stop playing judge, jury, and executioner, folks, if you got that type of wickedness on your mind. But anyway, let me get back to the point at hand. The dark web is where somebody like a nut like that could go on and get all of his stuff he want to do for his nefarious actions, evil actions. He can get the guns and the weapons and the different things. But even more sinister than that, now this is all the stuff we're talking about is true, is actually happened. It's outrageous as it sounds. Just today, I heard about a woman who was captured in, I think it was Mexico. She went by the name of Diabla, and that's Spanish for female devil. And Lord knows this woman was a devil. What she did, and this is if you got children, send them to bed. What I'm about to say. She would get women who were pregnant. Now, how they was impregnated, please don't ask. That part I don't know. Were they runaways? Were they kidnapped women? Who knows? But this woman was a part of a drug cartel. What they would do, they would take the woman from the baby, and by force is an understatement. They took the babies, believe it or not, by cesarean section. I can't even comprehend that.
I'm lost.
I can't make this up, Claude. I can't make this stuff up. This is one of the most serious things I think we've ever talked about on the Truth Earth. I'm laughing to keep from crying. Took the babies from the women by cesarean section. Didn't even wait for them to be born naturally. Then after they killed the woman, they'd harvest her organs. Now, here's where the dark web comes in. They said, this is not something I just made up. They would sell the babies for $13,000 a piece in the U.S.
You know you cheap.
Now not only are you cheap, you just downright wicked. You buying a baby? Now, the dark web is somewhere where you could do something like that. Because ain't no way you going to go online and go on eBay talking about, I'm going to buy a baby. No. That's, I guess,
I ain't buying no baby.
that's human trafficking. That's beyond worse than slavery. That's just downright wicked. But you got people out here doing stuff like this. And this is where that dark web comes in at. So, yep, the devil has a thing. It's good, evil, light, darkness. He got a method of doing all his minions doing all their stuff. And this is where they what they call it, conduct a lot of their business, their transactions on the dark web. Who knows? Governments may be involved in it. I don't know. Don't want to know. There's an old saying, curiosity killed the cat. I don't want to be that cat. So I don't even want to see it. That's like taboo. So stay away. You heard it from the Truth Hurts first. Stay away. Don't do it. It took how many things to kick Adam and Eve out the Garden of Eden? How many things it took? One.
The apple.
The apple. So don't and we ain't talking about no smart iPhone.
We seen what Apple did, what phones did a long time ago.
That's an in joke, folks. But anyway, it's an in joke. So we're gonna keep that to ourselves and laugh, chuckle. So stay away from it, folks. Because you will be held. Oh yeah, you will be held in contempt of court if you get involved in that. That's the type of stuff probably Epstein was using. Jeffrey Epstein, the one that they keep trying to distract from him. What they call the Epstein list. That's probably where all that dirt went on at. Huh? I'm sorry, what, Claude?
You don't want to be on the files.
You don't want to be on the X-Files. Sure don't. All right, so that's enough of that. We in good shape. Oh, no, we not. We gone over. Do we have time to get into this, Claude? It's 10:16. Or do we want to knock off now?
Should we can do one more.
All right, let's try to wrap this up. Last topic is, hey man, is this guy crazy? We're gonna talk briefly about let's just stick with Roger Jackson. Just Roger Jackson. All right. We won't get into the other guy. Wanderlei. I think his name is Wanderlei Silva. We're not gonna talk about him. We'll talk about him next episode. All right, let me put up this pic right quick. We got from left to right. You'll see it later, Claude. We've got Rampage Jackson. I'm sorry, Roger Jackson. Let me put this up right quick. Roger Jackson, his son, and we got an image of Roger Jackson pummeling this guy. What was his name? Psycho. I forgot the guy's name. It's not good. That's not cool, man. Let's see if I can look it up right quick. But you don't remember it?
What his name or
the guy that Roger Jackson beat up?
No.
All right, let me look it up right quick.
Let me look it.
Oh, you gonna look it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna see who he is. Look it up real quick.
Okay, I found it. I'm gonna let you see if you can find it first. You found it?
Hold on.
I'm gonna let Claude have the honor. So let's start at the beginning. Rampage. Go ahead.
The one that he beat up is Stu. Something about Stu. Wrestler. Stu. STU. That's what it says.
Okay, I'm gonna clear. You got it partially right. Stewart Psycho Stu Smith.
Yeah, that's him.
A pro wrestler who was assaulted by Roger Jackson in an unscripted attack. Now, for those of you who are naive and don't know, been living under a cabbage patch, a rock, wrestling is scripted. It's supposed to be scripted. So all of their moves and different things in the ring are plotted out in advance. Now, the really good and experienced wrestlers can do what they call a match as they do it, call a move. Sometimes you'll see them in the corner talking to one another. They plotting out what they're going to do. You got to have a keen eye to catch that. But if you watch enough matches, you'll see it. And if they do it right, it's a quite a feat. It looks good. It's what's called a bump. And, they execute their moves and nobody is hurt or whatever. Now, in this case, I don't even think Roger Jackson was a part of this wrestling promotion. But
he just showed up.
He just showed up. Now, what the thing is, okay, it's a long story, but I'm going to try to summarize it so we can wrap up because both of us got to go to sleep. Is that what happened? This is from my observation of what happened, and Claude can let me know if I'm correct, if I'm accurate. Roger Jackson was friends with a guy in a wrestling promotion out in Los Angeles. Okay, this is right, Rampage Jackson's son. Rampage Jackson's an MMA fighter, a multiple-time champion. You may also know him. He was in the movie The A-Team, which we thought was terrible, but no, Claude actually liked that movie. I didn't like it.
I don't know. I like certain parts in the movie. But
right. You didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. That's a terrible saying. Anyway, let's get back on track. So he knew a guy within this wrestling promotion. This is like a indie wrestling promotion, not a big one. It's not WWF. It's not TNA. It's not AEW. It's not New Japan. This is like an indie level. So this friend takes Roger Jackson. Now, before he takes him to this, I guess it was like they were about to do a promo for a match. Roger Jackson was sparring with this guy, and this guy hit Roger Jackson with a spin kick and darn near knocked him out. Knocked him out cold, but Roger Jackson didn't pass out. I guess the kid is tough. And but he was like, man, I think I got a concussion because you talk about sweet chin music. I mean, this guy really connected. He went upside his head, and I can relate to that because when I studied martial arts myself, I was once hit with a spinning heel kick. And Lord knows I had on headgear. I almost passed out. This guy was a black belt. I think I was trying to get my green, And after that, it was like Green Acres. I just said I've had enough. I got enough. I know enough to protect myself. I'm good. So, but anyway, I digress again. So this guy, this is all the same day from the best of my knowledge. This guy tells Roger Jackson, I want you to come with me. We're going to do a promo for an upcoming match, where they shoot the promos. So they go to this guy, and this guy, Stewart, Psycho Stu Smith, is cutting a promo. And so Roger Jackson walks up on him, like, what did we used to say back in the day? Cock diesel. He walked up on him like he wanted to fight him. It was weird. So when he saw that, the guy took a beer can, I think it was beer, and smashed it upside Roger Jackson's head. Now keep in mind the man's already loopy from the kick. So he said, why you do that, man? I'm going to bleep, bleep, bleep you up and all this stuff, cussing and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, Lord, this is the Indies. Because they don't have no filter. So the guy who brought him into this mess, which was kind of a young guy like Roger, he was like, hey, don't lose your cool. I'll set it up to where you can come in and save face or some nonsense. But what I perceived was, he said, I'm gonna let you come in and do a run in, and everything will be even Steven. But you got to collect those receipts. Now that's a fighter term for you got to send them a message. And what Roger Jackson did during this guy's match, this Stewart Psycho Stu Smith guy's match, Roger did the run in. The guy let him take his shots at him, but he took real shots. No kayfabe here, folks. I mean, he tried to kill the guy. And it took like 7, 8 wrestlers to pull him off of him. And in the process, I think he broke his nose, knocked out 7, 8 teeth. It was ugly, folks. So the guy was in critical condition, and but he pulled through. But as the old saying goes, the damage was done. And I think he'll be able to resume his so-called career. But Roger Jackson, in the meantime, is facing criminal charges. So according to this, the assault occurred during this is a AI, Allen Iverson overview. The assault occurred during a wrestling event at an academy in Sur Valley, California, and was captured on a live stream. Smith suffered serious injuries, including a fractured jaw and other head trauma, and spent time in intensive care. Jackson was arrested for this attack in September 2025 and was held on a $50,000 bond. Now, his daddy, Rampage, paid for it, so he's out, but he's got to face trial for that. All right, let me take these pictures down and let's wrap up. So, Claude, first and foremost, is that a good?
That's accurate.
Accurate. Okay. I've looked at a lot of people have a lot of different opinions of it. They tried to raise him money, and Rampage was like, "Nah, we don't need no GoFundMe. GoFundMe." So that was kind of in poor taste. Now, Mark Henry, the ex-WWF wrestler, said that the Psycho Stu deserved what he got. But Booker T said, Booker T. Huffman, a.k.a. King Booker of Harlem Heat, he said it was wrong on every level. He said the guy gave up his body to let him do his move, which was he did a kind of like a power bomb first, and darn near knocked the man unconscious with the power bomb. which is really saying something. And but then he just started waylaying the mollywop, as the Claw would say, the man. And it just was ugly. It was just brutal and hard to watch. And we ain't gonna play no clips of it. So it was sad. So the young man has got himself in trouble. But here's the bottom line. I think it was a case of he was set up. Roger Jackson. I'm not condoning what he did by no stretch of imagination. But the guy who was his quote unquote friend, I think he set him up. Because first of all, he brought him to that promo shoot. And I don't know what he was telling him, but he walked up on the guy like as if to say, "What? What you gonna do?" And the guy, being I guess psycho, he did what he does, which is something outrageous. He hit him with the beer. So the guy, and I don't know this guy's name. To me, he should be charged too.
I think the owner of the promotion should be charged.
Well, him too. But instead of saying, let it go or whatever, well, he did, but he said, well, I'm gonna set it up to where you get a run in, and so that you can save face. But he said the magic word, pay him back with his what they call receipts, and that's a sign to, if necessary, hurt somebody to send a message. And being young and dumb, well, I take that back. You're not dumb, Mr. Roger. This guy coming after me. But he fell for the banana in the tailpipe. He fell for it. And it's kind of like back when you were a child, or in some cases, maybe you were a teenager, and people goaded you into a fight.
Oh, yeah, I remember them days.
Remember them days? Hey, man.
You crazy?
Hey, man, are you crazy? Knock that stick off my shoulder. I dare you. I remember it was a commercial with an actor, Robert Conrad, and he put I think it was a Duracell battery on his shoulder, said, I dare you. I double dare you. Knock this off my shoulder. It was a stupid commercial. I think somebody spoofed it and said somebody slapped the taste out of his mouth. I can't remember. I think it was Johnny Carson. That's a long, long time ago. But anyway, kind of one of them situations. So I've done enough talking. I'm gonna let Claude wrap this up. Your impressions, Claude.
Fantastic show. I think everything went great.
Okay, wonderful. Beautiful. Great job as always. We covered a lot, and we'll get to the rest of this a little later, because there was an incident with a guy named Wanderlei Lee Silva, another MMA fighter, and it was just as brutal, just as ugly as this situation with Roger Jackson Psycho Stussy, which begs the question, what's going on with MMA? Because this is kidding. Or just society in general. I mean, this is supposed to be kayfabe land, and not MMA, but wrestling. And now it's becoming brutal. It's like the lines that get blurred between the two. It's just madness going on, chaos. So we're gonna talk about that later. All right. On that note, God bless everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. Get good rest. And we will see you soon on the Truth Hurt. Peace, everybody. God bless you. Remember what we said and stay safe out there. Peace.